You just take a punt on both of these captains. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? People are going ballistic at the moment. Think you would still buy them at 644k?
Especially if you don't have Isaac Heaney. Do you think it's too late?
Nah.
Mate, that's a heap of cash. Look at that.
I know. Well, now he's got North next. He's got North next week. And I'm thinking that there is a chance he goes plus 150.
G'day, lads. Welcome back to the One-Eyed Pod. It's currently round 3. Just finished up. It was the Easter round. I think we went a lot better this round. It started off really, really, really good. And I was like, fucking hell, mate. Like, I am flying here. And I thought I was in for like a big one with 2 primos out. And then as the round went on, like just typical, it just
it's always Sunday.
It's
always Sunday.
Fucking me as it went. And then it hit Sunday. Actually, Sunday was good for me, besides D'Ambrosio, but everyone has him.
Yeah, that was Monday.
Oh, that was Monday. Yeah. What happened Sunday?
Yeah. Well, Sunday was... I assume most captain Bont like us, and we wanted to do Heaney C. We may as well talk about it now. I think everyone, I went Bont because he's safe and, good score, and I was leading my matchups, and you think, fuck, you don't want to ruin a good matchup if Bont goes ballistic. But I think you just take a punt on both of these captains. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? People are going ballistic at the moment. Like, we could have gone Heaney C, 148, and I'm in my head already. There's 2 teams to target, Richmond and North Melbourne. And you could add West Coast there, but I feel like...
I don't think you can. People are rested. They're so shit now that people are getting rested. They're just resting players.
Yeah. And that's... I was looking at it before, but I haven't got the... Like, last week, Bont didn't go massive, but nobody really went massive. I'm pretty sure, what was 2 weeks before? I'm pretty sure, I can't remember who they versed. Because I know Butters didn't go massive against West Coast. But Yo's playing like as a tagger, essentially, trying to negate Bont and all that kind of stuff. But Bont's role was completely more different to that. He was basically a full forward, and we had him all captain. But they do rest him, against West Coast. And is it a sort of scary sign? I guess, could you captain Heaney? That's the question.
No. The only people looking at this, everyone's going plus 100.
Yeah.
No one's doing a captainable score besides the Ruckmans.
Yeah, and that's what I sort of realised when I was looking at it when I saw Bont like that. But Bont, I said this last week because I had Bont captain last week, and I think because of Darcy, and it might be because he's injured and banged up as well, but I swear that Darcy's sort of made him, and probably the inclusion of Sanders, he rests forward a lot more. So, you still get a good score, but I don't know, maybe it's for the next 3 or 4 weeks you skip him, which is it's just shit because you've paid 700k for this player, but instead of that play, you maybe had a Liberatore or a LDU sitting there. So it's not a massive loss. He's still churning out points, but it's a bit disappointing, isn't it? I don't think I can captain him.
And I feel like it would have been that one time where if you didn't go for the 700k player, you would have kind of been cruising.
That's it. And this is so reactionary because he got 136 2 weeks ago with 9 clangers.
Yeah.
So it's just maybe that one game.
Maybe it's just one game, and we're just going over the tops because
but he does look banged up though. I think because I did hear a rumor. I don't think he trained at all last week.
Yeah, I saw that. Didn't train.
So that's that's sort of gives it
when
to
your
me.
700k player is not training, you're like, fuck. Like,
yeah.
But he's still scoring good scores, so
should have picked Merritt. Like my boy Merritt is going to get tagged this week, but imagine if you had Merritt in like Serong and maybe one power mid. Oh, you'd be number one.
Yeah.
100% that sort of combo instead of Bont. You just fade Bont. But before we go on our teams, what's your thoughts on fading Nick Dacos? I've seen it a lot.
No. I think
Yeah.
in this backline role, he's just a player you can't not have because even if he does go, let's just say he went 90 this week or fucking 80, he's a player that if you traded him out, you would get fucking destroyed because he could very easily pop off and go 150. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what is he at the moment? He's a. If you were trying to get ahead in that way, I feel like there's different ways to get ahead rather than
Well,
trading Nick Dacos out.
the week was probably last week, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because he was 650. Oh, I could have sworn he was 650. He's lost a lot of money. He's 600 now. Um, but he will probably get to 550, maybe 570.
I looked at the projection thing that Bryce Mitchell does,
Yep.
and I think it was around the 580 mark, 570,
Right.
with him as a
Right.
projection of scoring 110.
Yeah, and the um caution or concern, I guess, is he's got Finn McGuinness this round, and anything could
Yeah.
happen.
I don't think the Finn McGuinness tag will be what everyone thinks it is because he's not. I mean, if he was a hectic, damaging player this year who's really tearing them up in the midfield, I feel like Finn definitely goes to negate him. But if he's just slinging off half back, not really having a massive influence, do you reckon they still put as much attention into him? Or do you reckon they go to someone like Jordan De Goey?
I just think he did such a. It was like Nick was flying. Um, when did he do his injury? It was around 10 or 11. But
Yeah.
Finn went to him and completely shut him down and
Mm,
literally broke him. So why wouldn't they do that? And I think that is the play. And he's already come in and tagged. He tagged Clayton for a little bit. Well, not a little bit. He tagged Clayton the full game 2 weeks ago, but the change up happened. I don't know. Hopefully not. Then Dacos will be, still flying, but I think they'll bring him in to try and negate him, and that may mean more of a loss of money. But I don't think you can get rid of him. I think he's easy sort of D1 to sort of four territory. Um,
set and forget, you reckon?
oh, exactly. That's what you even how good Ryan's going at the moment. You'd still you know want Dacos because he'll probably score more points over the season. But and the buy plays a part. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think you can fade him at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so as well. Should we jump into the teams?
Sure. Did
I
you want to
think
go first?
yeah, I can go first. I've already got it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's way too risky, and like there's just other moves to be doing at the moment than trading out Dick Dacos.
Exactly. Well, I can't even do it anyway. And and probably everyone is like this. I think they've all just because everyone has gone um, mid price heavy. It's fucked
Hmm.
everything. So
Yeah,
we'll be taking tickets soon. It is not a mid price season unless you got Harry Mackay.
yeah, or Crouch.
Bramble. Bramble's been
Yeah,
popping off.
there are some in prices, I guess. All right, this week I went 1931. This score got severely carried by Dempsey in the last game.
Hmm.
Did it what? Um,
He's bloody
I
good,
ended
isn't
up
he?
I ended up trading in Dempsey in the out of my trade plans. I don't know if we went over it last week, but I ended up going for Dempsey rather than Carroll, just because his job is more certain in the team for longer, and it just made my structure a bit better. There's someone I could put on field, and I went for him, and it paid off because he carried me. I boosted in ranks this week and finally cracked the 20K. We're on the way though, because I think with two massive premiums out of your team, and still going up in ranks is a great start. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're in a similar boat because we have those two primos. So I was real similar like you. I
Mm.
mean, um, it is a bit strange that we're climbing the ranks, and so maybe I mean, do that were those people probably carrying heavier primos and just not really factoring in the round three buy?
I
But
think
you
that
know, yeah,
at the start, everyone's just got all these strange players who pop off,
yeah,
and then like
exactly,
obviously those players aren't going to do good the next week, so they just aren't
yeah,
gaining any points, and the people who
yeah,
basically just haven't changed, you're just gaining normal points, you're just moving up a little bit. It's kind of evening out, like we said last week.
mm,
But for all the Spotify listeners, Luke Ryan in the back line went 130, which is good. I had Dacos, Sheasel, massive performers. Very happy with that. And looking at this, like, it makes me think that Luke Ryan and Sheasel are serious, like capped VCC options, like pod VCC. If there's nothing going around, and I
yeah.
don't hate it. I don't even hate the option for like a Luke Ryan VC, um, because he can go massive against the right opponent.
Do you think? Um, do you think you would still buy him at 644K, or is the ship sailed?
I think he will have a down game. I don't think he's punching these
Because
numbers
if you
constantly.
have a look, if you have a look at his break even, it's
Hmm.
essentially
One, it's his price, basically his
yeah.
score.
And so that, and there is a chance that you can punt against. And Carlton are really hard to like. Freo's been the best defensive sort of scoring team anyway,
Hmm.
but Carlton are usually hard to score against.
Oh yeah,
But look, he just scored 168 against them last year. So
yeah. But
Adelaide's a bit
I
different.
I don't think honestly don't expect much from him this week. I'm expecting like 110 go down in price a little bit,
I hope so.
um, and and then we'll pop off against Adelaide West Coast. You know,
So you so
Port
you
Adelaide.
think
Sorry,
no, don't get him and
I'm
try and get more
I'm
value.
waiting. I'm
Yeah,
waiting. Yeah.
yeah.
Um. Yeah. Why are you thinking about bringing him in this week?
Yeah, that's my only question. Well, my question really is, is he a must-have? And his price is really, it's he might be 630 for the season, but it's such a high sort of price for him to sort of obtain, and he does have a low game in him. So
He does. He has like an 80 sometimes. Like he
yeah,
just doesn't do
and which
anything.
is perfectly fine. I just guess his role is just so good. And I didn't watch the
Mhm.
game, but I heard he had a lot of junk points at the end. Is that right? Did I hear that
I
right, or
didn't. I
was
didn't
that?
watch. I didn't watch the game
Yeah,
either.
I
Um,
think it would have been him or Crouch, one of your players. They were, but I think Ryan was doing all right, but that doesn't matter.
from memory, they said that Luke Ryan played a terrible game. Like it wasn't a good game again at all. Let's go DFS real quick. I'm pretty quick. Here we go. Yeah, from memory, they said that he had a terrible game, and I never really he wasn't really up the top of the Supercoach thing until the very end of the game, and then he just
Yeah,
finished
so
at the top.
this is it. Yeah, that's what I heard. But
Um,
still, 27 kick. Like, look at his DE. So he's
yeah,
not really hitting the. He doesn't really hit hard kicks ever. Like, it's a pretty junk roll, but you're not going to complain about it.
yeah. Let's just have a look at his heat map because I haven't actually even looked at any of this. It's literally just the classic Luke Ryan. Like if we
Yeah.
go DFS Australia and we go kick-ins, oh, this is going to be interesting. I wonder how many kick-ins he took this week. Players. I don't want to support you next time. Kick-ins, Frio.
Shout out to
Um,
DFS. We just can't support you.
so he actually shared the kick-ins this time. So 4, 3, and 3. That's different.
That's all right. That is different. That's great. All right. That sort of convinced me to not really bring him in, even though I love him. Um,
And
I
it's
feel like
interesting.
I'm gonna try and bite the bullet here.
Look at this as
The
well.
urge.
Like look at these heat maps. There's sorry, from his first week. This is the first week, right, when he went absolutely nuts.
Yeah,
Oh, this is a little bit concerning. And now this is this week.
yeah. Let's see. He's still doing his junk shit.
He's
I
still
wouldn't.
going up the ground and doing it plenty of
Yeah,
deep like deep defensive 50 like intercepts, cheap marks, but nothing compared to the first game when he went nuts and was just all over the ground. You know what I mean? They obviously
yeah,
just don't have the luxury now of having someone deep, and he has to be that guy.
yeah,
Anyway, continue back to the team. Yeah, Luke Ryan went nuts. So pretty happy with the back line. And I mean, D'Ambrosio went 68. And I was thinking, like, what do I really expect from this guy at the end of the day? Like, I expect 70 to 80s, maybe 80 would be great from him.
yeah.
68, I think that's his floor. I mean, I didn't even see him. He played terrible. Um,
But well, he's playing man on to Stengel sometimes.
was he?
Once Harry Morrison came in, so
True.
because he was another mid, I wouldn't stress about him. I mean, I reckon Zach Williams is going to be more of a worry.
You
I
think
have a
Zach
feeling.
Williams will be? I was pretty happy with the 70 from Zach
Yep.
Williams. I know a lot of people weren't happy.
I just hope it's just continuous, just like this, and it just continues to build.
Yeah.
Where D'Ambrosio's at least shown us something, so you got some sort of evidence to base it off.
Yeah. In the midfield, I went for the VC on Butters. I don't think I've ever seen a player start so slow and just get constantly burnt and be around the footy so much. But no, I have seen a player do that before. Jack Steele last year. But Butters was just getting destroyed in the first half and then went absolutely bananas. Like he was just give me the footy, give me the footy, give me the footy. And
The
then you were
third
like, oh,
quarter,
we're on. Yeah, yeah. We were like,
yeah,
oh, we're
yeah,
on
he had
him.
a 50.
He
I
is
could have sworn he had a 50-point quarter,
it was
like because he was on
huge.
30, and because he didn't. Oh, he might have had a 40 because he didn't do much in that last. Like, did he do? He didn't do as much as he did on that third. That third, I think that was his quarter.
Yeah.
And then, but he got scaled down. I mean, you can talk about the
8 points
scaling
or
because we all.
something.
I woke up just terribly. It's Easter Sunday, great day, and I just look at the score and it just fucked me for the whole day. Just how can they? Yeah, how can they do? Yeah, I know it's 10 points, but that 100 is like it's a very special number in our hearts.
It
Um,
is literally. If he was 2 more points, I would have said it was a good game. But it wasn't. It's a 98.
oh,
I can't do it. It doesn't look nice on the stat
and
sheet
he
here.
and he wasn't even getting tagged as well. That's the most frustrating part
Yeah,
because Drew was tagging Viney and then going with him and then just completely ruining his day. Um, and I just can't. Oh, I just sorry, that doesn't even make sense at that point because they're the same sort of player, same team. So you can probably cut that out, Mikey.
yeah, yeah. But no, I don't need to cut it off because Drew actually did kind of ruin it. I think he's
Well,
ruining
he
a
got
lot of super coach things because I
well.
don't know what it
He's
was.
ruined Wines' role, and he's just targeting the footy. But I guess what I was trying to say. Oh well, it makes sense now that like even when um Viney went forward, he had he had the momentum to sort of take care of the game, and then he got placed half forward.
Mm.
So it was just like it didn't really make sense. I guess whenever maybe Viney went in, that's when maybe Butters went half forward. I haven't
It
rewatched the game
was
at all, but it was confusing how it was all happening. Like it
I
should
could
be
not
just yeah,
understand it. And this
yeah,
shocked me when I saw that he was in there 78%.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
and
this
and, and he
really,
was half
really
forward,
shocked me.
but it wasn't like it wasn't like Wines was getting in the middle too. I mean, where's Drew's numbers? So does that say he's 87?
87, yep.
Yeah,
The
so
most.
it did do a number on Butters's sort of
Mm.
output, but because when he went ballistic in that sort of third quarter, he was probably 50-50 split and half forward. He was just running in there straight away. But yeah,
Yeah.
well, I
It was
traded
like
him. I was yeah,
it was almost like he started at half forward, but then just went on the ball. You know what I mean?
yeah.
He just wasn't
And
there for the center bounce.
and what's frustrating as well, like Sarong, like I had the choice of those two, and feel like you're just going to pick now the high CBA sort of mid because that's the best role for Supercoach, and you just forget about it because someone sort of scores 175 against shit opposition, but that kind of sort of CBA percentage is just a little bit lame. Like,
Mm.
how are you going to score bulk 120s, 130s if you're really only in there 73% of the time? I guess they put him in there in the important moments, and now Wines is out. Um, it won't screw anything because JHF will come in and be a little bit similar. But if they're all back, I don't know how the hell they're going to do it. Just use your
Yeah.
brain, Hinkley. Use your brain. Put Wines half forward or wing and stop mucking us about. We don't want these 98s, you idiot.
It's actually like the I saw someone or read somewhere that someone was they were saying that the center bounces actually don't matter and it's more about the around the ground
Right.
like ball ups, but I disagree because okay, if someone gets the
A
ball out of a center
clearance.
bounce, yeah, you have him a clearance, a contested possession, an inside 50, and sometimes a score involvement. Like it's all,
Exactly.
and that's massive. And if you
Yeah.
don't have the
And that
opportunity to do that every game, then you're fucked.
exactly. I mean, it's this whole season. I'll let you get on with it, but this whole season, you try and think something's um, going to happen, and it goes the opposite way. So
Yeah,
you just got to try
yeah,
and be two steps ahead.
yeah. It's actually been very tough. Crouch has just done outstanding again. This guy was on 5 points in the first quarter. And then 5 points, and then at halftime he was on like 68. I was
Oh,
fucking shook. I could not believe it. Like, because I remember messaging you, I was like, "Fucking Crouch, get the ball, do something," because I couldn't watch the game. And
yeah.
then, I checked back at halftime, and bloke is on 68. I was like, oh, "What the fuck has just happened? Like, what has he done?"
He's pissing me off. He's really pissed me off because I know as soon as I bring this idiot in, and he's not even an
Yeah.
idiot. He's a soldier at this point, a an elite pick. But I'm just scared, will he get dropped eventually? But like you said, Dawson is not kicking it straight, so he's not really affecting Adelaide's performance. It's his other teammates that aren't really, giving it a crack.
Yeah, not at all. I think he does nothing to and I'm actually this is me going back on what I said last week. Like from last week I said, "Oh, there's a potential that they change things up a little bit and he gets thrown around everywhere." But look at this. Laird is still going 111. Let's look at Laird's heat maps real quick. Laird is still going 111. Dawson is still scoring well in like fantasy. And if Dawson's still scoring well in fantasy, it's literally just a disposal efficiency issue. And it
Yeah,
is. We've seen it and with all the stats, he's cooked.
yeah,
If we go here and we go Laird's heat maps, share this tab. See, like Laird is this isn't affecting Laird. I mean, it's probably affecting his like CBAs because he's not getting a lot of center bounces
yeah.
from the looks. Um, and if we go
Well, he's
to
like similar to Butters as well. He'd probably start on the half line and then just
yeah,
go right in. So he might
well,
get that outside one.
like Laird is definitely not affected at all.
Yeah,
Um, It's just whoa. I've stuffed up here. And we know Dawson's not affected. So I am going back on what I said last week. I don't mind the Crouch pick, but I feel like if you were going to do the Crouch pick, you should have done it at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Um, because, yeah, well, I mean, it's probably still a good pick. What's he at?
520
530. Yeah. And at this price, yeah, you're probably looking at people like Took Miller. And I think I'm going to
steel.
take, yeah, Steele. I think I'll take Steele or Took Miller over Crouch.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Who would you rather, Crouch or Steele or Took?
Oh, steel. I think I'd
Yeah.
even rather steal it over two, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just love what Jack Steele's doing at the moment. He's cause he's versing Richmond this week at Norwood. I'm pretty sure. I'm looking at it now, Norwood, which
Mm.
is like a real small ground. So like he could get a lot of tackles and be a good choice. So
Mm.
yeah, I would 100% get Steele, and if you need a replacement,
Yeah. I mean, Steele was on my radar this week as a potential trade in. It
yeah,
just fucks my structure. Um, and I guess I'll get onto that a bit later. But Gorn went fucking ballistic, and I was tempted to captain him this week, but I was never going to do it. But fuck, like if you hit Gorn this week, you would have launched.
mm,
Um,
yeah. And there's a few
but
that's done it.
yeah, Grundy
This
serviceable. Love the 114. Played great. Happy with that. Cleaned up his free kick differential. I think he only gave away like a few, or maybe one, maybe even none. Can't remember. Um, Happy how Grundy's going. He's got a good run coming up. He's going to start to go ballistic. I even tempted to maybe VC him this week.
I wouldn't.
Um,
Blow,
you wouldn't?
BJ Williams equaled well Grundy's sorry, no, English isn't a tap ruckman, is he? So
No, he's around the ground.
yeah, so but he Mr. Williams, we'll call him, had I think it was a 25-15 split or something. So he had at least a few hit outs, but I wouldn't go near him for VC. You can do what you want though, because we're not experts.
Don't tell me what to do. Isaac Heaney, God, if you don't have this
You'd
man,
rather VC that bloke, Heaney, than Grundy. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah, that's true. If it for that game, especially, but if you don't have Isaac Heaney, do you think it's
What
too
a
late?
shit fest. Nah, mate.
Get on
Well,
him still.
it's too late. I mean, I was hearing someone say this earlier, and this point's true. He's got his bye next week, so you would be absolutely stupid to get him in this week. Like, because you'll find someone that might match his stats next week, unless he goes 180, which is it won't happen, but he could go
Potential.
150. But if would I pay 630K for Heaney? Probably.
Yeah, if he's
He's
putting up
just
these numbers,
he's in
he's
unreal form.
mate. If Heaney's putting up
Unreal
these
form.
numbers, he's been in the Brownlow. Like he
Yeah,
is electric at the moment. Domination on all
and
levels of the game. Kicking
and I
goals,
yeah
center bounces, contested footy around the ground. He's in the back.
yeah,
He's everywhere.
and I'm pretty sure I read somewhere Taylor Adams is up for a report or something, and he sling tackled someone, and he could face 2 weeks. I mean, I don't think they'll change him where he's having his best season ever. So why would they go? Okay, like let's just put him in the forward line, and that's probably what people's like reservations were for not getting him in straight away.
Yeah,
Um, but he's been insane.
he has. He's been. I'm so happy that I made the split decision to trade him in. Yeah, I mean, I would have gone Luke Jackson otherwise, and probably been able to flip to Heaney now. But you'd say that we won out of this battle, the Heaney versus Luke Jackson. We won.
Yeah, I was going to touch on this later, but like, there's actually no one in the forward line. So even if he scores 90 or 100 and his role changes, that's still a W in my opinion. Like, so I mean, it was stuck behind him at 630k, and he does that shit. But like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's like one of those things that because I don't. How high is he owns now? That's the other thing you got to factor in.
Right. He's only owned by 37%. Like
That
that's
is
high,
crazy.
but he
No,
is under
it's not
37.
high at all. Well, I guess he's a must have. That's the few
Oh,
picks that we say must have, and he's in
yeah.
30s. Well, our friend Nathan didn't have him, did he? I'm pretty sure
No.
our other mate Max doesn't have him. So it's clear that people are still fading the pick.
Yeah.
But it's just you would be. I don't know what I'd do in all honesty if I didn't have him in my team. Like I would have just got him in straight away. And I was telling
Yeah.
people that like just get him in. He's fucking unreal, and that's what I think we did. That we didn't have him in the round zero team,
No.
but
And then you
round
told
zero
me like
happened,
get this
and then we
guy
just
in.
and he's unreal.
Yeah.
He's actually a captain option at the moment. Like
Oh,
he's just
definitely.
seeing the footy as a big beach ball. Like he's just doing everything right. So yeah, I
He's one of
love
those
him.
players you love to watch because it's like I don't know if you watch footy like this, but you kind of have a rough idea of where your player is on the ground at certain times, and you're like, "Oh my god, you could potentially get to this ball if you run real
That,
quick. Like you
that
could get
that's
there,"
all
and
my
and he gets
that's
there every
all my
time.
players.
Yeah,
That's all my
I'm like,
players.
yeah, I'm like, oh, I know Heaney was on like the forward flank before the camera panned over to here. If he runs hard enough, he could probably get to the back flank. And when it comes back around, and he's there, and he's got the ball, and it's like,
Oh
uh, touch on Tom Powell. I'm so happy with this pick.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I know I was talking shit throughout the game, but I was just playing
you
around.
were. No, you weren't. Were you playing around?
I
You were
was just
saying
playing
he's a shit
around.
truck.
No, I was just saying it because like I was like, oh, where's your 120s? Where you want no, but I reckon this would be his flaw. He had so many
Yeah,
clangers.
yeah. He
Um,
will get there. I reckon he'll be top six.
yeah, definitely. I think so as well. If you don't have Tom Powell, I don't think it's too late. I think you could still trade him in this week.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, serviceable pick. I think if you don't have him, he's a must trade in this week as well as Heaney.
What's
Not
this
Heaney
next
this
week,
week.
isn't it?
Heaney's after his bye,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
But I mean, you can still buy him at 450. Um, well, it's 415 and four, even round five around there. But it's just too much risk involved, I reckon.
yeah,
Like just get him in, solid option.
there's other options, because he's gonna, it's inevitable that he's gonna have down games. If he's
Yeah,
getting to, if you're trading him in when he's around like the 450 to 500 mark, I don't think you want to be doing that. Like, there's different players you'd want to be doing it, like taking in for that price.
yeah, yeah,
But something you should also consider as well, if you're on the fence about Tom Powell, is that James Jordan is basically the exact same price as him. Um, and if
yeah.
you are taking Jordan over Powell, like, what are you
You goose.
doing? Like, just side swap them, boost, side swap them, put him in. Um, but yeah, nothing really else to touch on. Billings was what
What
we
about
knew.
your man Matt
Billings.
Roberts? What about your man Matt Roberts?
Oh, thanks for
Is
reminding
he
me.
the best rookie? Well, I guess we'll go into what is it?
There was Stallions and
Stallion and
Imagine of the
Madgens.
Week. Yeah,
We
Imagine
don't
and
even know
Stallion.
we don't
Yeah.
even know what our best part of the pods are.
Yeah. Well, I'll jump into Matt Roberts. Matt Roberts, he's just such a great rookie, isn't he? He's another. I think I'm really liking watching Sydney this year. I love watching Sydney play
Yeah,
just because I got Matt Roberts and Heaney, and I'm just like, yes.
he's
um,
actually crazy though. He's
he's
crazy.
so good.
How is he doing? He could. I know it's. I mean, he's never really pumped out those big primo scores, but he is the last. I think I'll keep him. Well, it'd be stupid to trade him. I had a plan to trade him
Mm,
at the buy, but just got to get rid of a Sydney player so I can make 18.
mm.
Um, you're probably keeping him till their next buy because I think it's 2 buys a year, isn't it? So
Yeah. He's my
eh,
D6 until, like, the very end, I
exactly.
reckon.
And how good, like, we get a
Mm,
player like that is worth about 100, but he did this last year where he, like, did good scores and just a capable performer, but,
mm.
some
He got
people didn't
injured.
s some people didn't start him obviously because they didn't rate him.
Yeah, some idiots. We'll touch on that. We've got some receipts to cash in today. I've got them all locked and loaded,
Oh,
ready to
no.
go.
Watch all our players get injured because of you.
I know. Okay, my stallion imagine of the week. My stallion of the week would have to go to. Let's give it to Dempsey because he carried me at the very end there. Like, he seriously carried me. This 86 was not expected. And my imagine of the week is literally the classic Billings. How this guy has an AFL contract is beyond me, and he's not even going to do it any better next week. He's playing at Adelaide Oval again, and like to be like, let's be honest, not the best ground for wingers. The MCG a lot better. Adelaide not the best. He's got Adelaide Oval again. I'm getting rid of this bloke. Like,
I This is so. I mean, it's more frustrating. Well, you had him in your team and you sort of rated him, so it's okay for you to go back on the pick. But I was, and I think maybe you were leaning more towards me saying, Billings is a shit pick, but we just got him in because he scored a 127. But I
yeah,
never rated him getting him in, and so I've
nah,
blown a trade. I wish I got Tom Berry in, not had to trade Tom Berry, even though he scored a 15. Then I would have got Dempsey in. But it's just what I'm trying to say is this guy is just an absolute fraud, and I'm not having. I told everyone this, and I fucking went back on my word, and I'm so annoyed on it because he's. I mean, I was vouching for him last week, thinking, just 60 is his floor. He'll be okay. He was worse. I couldn't find him on the footy field. He was that embarrassing.
I didn't even
And
know he was playing. Like, I couldn't even when he was close to
I
the
didn't know.
ball, his players
Yeah,
just burnt him. Said, "Fuck this guy."
but that's the issue. Like, I was watching the game, and I completely forgot. Like, I didn't know he was playing, and then I'm like, when he got subbed, I didn't find out to 30 minutes later because um, he was missing for the whole game. I just thought, all right, he'll find the ball again. Oh no, he's
Yeah,
subbed this time. Even better. How he got to 42 is beyond me. It is beyond me. Like, he had a
I
cheat.
think it
I'm
was
pretty
just at
sure he
the
had a
end. He
few
got some
cheat.
cheap kicks. Yeah,
Yeah, and few Scott, but he peppered a goal. Just
yeah.
a don't, well, I'm a bit jealous that you chose him to because he's stallion of the week. But Mamma Mia, what a shit player! Just shit
Oh,
Supercoach option.
yeah. Um, I jump into my trades. Definitely, this is what I'm thinking. Not yet certain on how this is going to go because I've got a dilemma this week. Let's just go like this real quick. Cancel. Let's go optimize. Um, so I got a dilemma this week. It's that I was lazy and I didn't have enough time to trade out this berry rather than this berry. Now I have an issue where I can't trade out this berry and he's going to have to stay this week. And I might have to just trade out Sexton, which is okay as well. I'm not mad about it, but I just think Sexton has more to give, and he was a bit unlucky last week.
Well,
Uh,
why wouldn't you just trade Berry and then get out Harley Reid and put him in your mids?
it doesn't work like that.
What a shit show. I did that with Pink, to be honest. So don't
Because
worry, it happens.
because then I would have to have Sam Darcy on field or Sexton or Cadman. You know what I mean?
That's fine.
Nah, I'd rather Harley Reid on
Berry's
field. I could do this,
right.
right? Like, I'll show you. So if I go
Yeah.
here and I type in, I want to get in this week, Flanders. And this was my plan last week, and I'm going to do it this week. His numbers are unreal to start the season. No brainer pick, I think.
Yeah.
I think in my head. See, this is my dilemma. Sam Darcy.
Yep.
And I'm not even certain on Darcy at the moment. Like
Neither.
I am so unsure about trading him in. So I could just completely switch out and do someone else. But
But
this is the dilemma because
right.
like I can't.
I reckon
I,
that. I, I mean, each their own. I reckon that's fine because Dempsey's actually solid,
no, so I've
but
got a
you
better.
can't swap.
I've got a better option. So I'll show you. I'm just gonna go Sexton out.
And do you think Sexton is a trade out?
Not necessarily. I think if it works, trade him out. But he's definitely got
Mm,
more cash to give. Um,
yeah.
and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go Flanders in Darcy. Maybe Darcy. I might go somewhere else. And if I decide to go somewhere else, then it kind of helps a bit actually.
But who
Um,
would you go? Who would you go?
um, I might go for a backline player. I'm actually not too sure. If there was a midfield option, I'll probably go for that. But I'm actually not too sure.
Yeah,
But what I can do here is I can now loop um, Lazaro and
yeah,
Sanders or Lazaro and McKercher.
that works all right.
I've got a solid loop here now. Oh no, they're fucking playing in the first game. This doesn't work out all right. Fuck. They're playing on Thursday.
I mean, you just think of it like a long term plan. I think, but that does work better.
Yeah,
I
I
think
like that
it's
I've got
just
a loop
it
here.
doesn't matter if it doesn't work. Just
Um, which is good, and I like the look of this team a lot better. I mean, my forward line's been fixed. My back
yeah,
line needs help here, but everywhere else is pretty fucking solid for a little bit to go on cruise control for a sec and
yeah.
save up a little bit
So
of coin.
only the two trades though. Is that right?
Yeah, only the two. I think I've played around with other trades to try fit in Whitfield, but
Yeah,
I just can't make it happen. I don't know how. There's no one I want to trade out. I'm very happy with my midfield.
yeah,
And I'm very happy with my back line besides one, and I'm fucking stoked with my forward line. There's no one I want to trade out, but I want Whitfield in. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But yeah, they're my trades. Probably going to look like that. I mean, I always change it a little bit, but
yeah.
yeah. What
We're
do you
at it.
think of that?
No, I like it. You know, you're getting in because the Sam Berry at the end of the day, you could just leave him as a loop, and he's actually got a lot of money on his head anyway. So when you find the
Yeah,
perfect sort of rookie, you can make that move and maybe put Reed. Oh well, you wouldn't be trading Reed at all, but he'd be a useful player to have as just a trade out option, and you just know in the back of the head it's not going to work this week, but it'll work the
mm,
following one. And
yeah,
Flanders is a must have, like
yeah.
no doubt about that. Um, like
His
no, I
numbers.
started
Do you want me to
Flanders.
touch on his numbers?
Sure.
For anyone on the fence about trading in Flanders this week, I was a little bit skeptical. I was like, oh, maybe I should do some research into it. Um, like playing unreal footy to start the season, like undeniable football.
Yeah.
He's gone a 102, 128, a 124. Like he's had, like look at these numbers just here. Can I go and zoom in? He's kicking goals. He's doing fucking everything you want him to do. And let's have a look at his heat maps. Insane heat map. Look at this. Somebody come look at
I
this.
know.
Somebody
He's
come look
good
at
at
this
it, isn't
one.
he?
Like his heat maps. He's a must have, especially for the forward line when we don't have any options like this, and he's at this price still. Is
Yeah. And
would you say?
the big plan about Flanders was really, and I think this was your plan for fading him, but he was an easy swap to Heaney. But now they're both good. You know, they're
Mm,
going to be top two because there's not going to be much. unless Bont gets rested forward the whole time, there's not going to be much DPP sort of changes. So
No, rookies will go into the back line, and that's pretty much it. I think I heard someone saying today that Ollie Wines could get mid forward status potentially, but
oh no, he's
I don't
gone.
think so.
Fuck him. I don't want to talk. Oh well, I can talk about him. He's definitely imagine that guy.
Do
He's a mad.
you want to jump into your team so I can see
No.
it?
Oh fuck! Don't get
Was
me
was
started,
this
mate.
actually a good week for you? Because from the sounds of you chatting to me, you've just been in pain, but it doesn't actually
I
look
have
that
been
bad.
in pain. I mean, I have been in pain, but I mean, it's just none of my pods. I'm just sharing my screen. Delete type. Different. Is it coming up?
Yeah, you're on.
Cool. It's just a good week. I mean, the pods and the split decisions have just pissed me off. The whole month, it's probably the hardest Supercoach year um, I've had in a while because just you're trading out primos, which is actually against you have a starting team for a reason. And I reckon I've just been trading out primos because they look shit, which they have looked terrible. Then the following week they churn out 100, and it just like it could you could easily have the Martins still the Fisher, but Fisher overperformed obviously with his score. And then you got Hayden Young just scoring 135, and you're just like, can I get a win?
Do
But
you
most
do you
people are in the
think?
same boat.
Do you really think that they were bad picks, like bad trade outs?
I reckon Young probably was a bad trade out, but time will
Can I
tell.
sh-
Because
can I show you something?
yeah,
Where is it? I'm not going to show you something. I'll just tell you something.
yeah,
Hayden Young. So Hayden Young this week, for anyone who was angry about trading him out, how many disposals did he get? What's that? What's 18 plus 14? I don't know. I don't know how to do fucking
32 or
maths.
so.
32 disposals. There we go. 32 disposals to, to get 132. Okay.
Yeah, and his CBAs was at 71%, which is what he
Okay.
had at North. He just was a clanger.
Okay. And now, what did Luke Ryan take to get to that score? You know what I'm saying? Luke Ryan played half the
I
game that
know,
he
two
played
different.
and got to that
Yeah,
score.
yeah,
Why? Like, that's probably his absolute ceiling, 132. I don't think he's ever playing
yeah.
a better game than this year. So him
I
going
mean,
132 is like, okay, I've just seen your ceiling and I don't want it.
I think the point that Wines has gone down now. I wish I traded out Wines and old mate Martin and just kept Young. So every single thing I find is just that you're just going to fix another mistake that needs fixing. So like overall, I actually had a good week. I rose by 12,000, well, almost 13,000 spots. So I'm 21k, and I think I looked at the points between me and you, and it's like 20 or 25 or something. It was literally Dempsey versus Jai Clark on field. I'm pretty sure, or
Yeah.
it was
Do you want to know
just
something?
Dempsey. Yeah,
We are two captain scores
yeah,
away, two pod captain scores away from the top 500.
right. Well, that makes me
Two
feel better.
two
I'm
pod
back.
captains to the top 500. So we're roughly around 250 points away from the top 500.
Yeah. Well,
So it's
that feels better.
extremely close. And a lot of that is filled with people with just abnormal teams that are obviously going to come down. So it's going to equal itself out. I find that a lot of the people who are in our area right now, if they just continue, they're gonna end up in that top 1,000 within the next couple weeks.
Yeah, and best 18 really doesn't do anyone, any favors, does it?
Nah. Oh, except the people who have planned for it, like our mate Abs. Fuck, he's launching this year.
Yes, he is. Don't remind me of that because I thought that Young was just a perfect trade, and I never did it. Sometimes you just got to copy these big guys in, don't you? They know what they're doing. They're just bloody elite risk takers. We're just, you know,
Mate,
uh,
do you know what he's planning to do? I went to the Bottle before and I listened to a video that he posted. Abs is planning, he's thinking about bringing in Jeremy McGovern.
yeah. Well, don't get me
That
started on that. Don't. Oh, well,
that's a bomb waiting to explode.
I know, but I for my pod last. I've got my pod. We put a TikTok out, and I generally thought, Mitch McGovern's looking really good, and then I was watching that Bullies game, and I've gone, have I just fucking said the wrong McGovern? Like this other McGovern's elite. Like, and
Yeah.
he actually has the best role. I'm actually considering him also because he gets me a better. I'm playing. I'll tell you my plans in a second, but I don't think I can do it because I've already blown a ton of trades, and I don't want to have a team with Yo and McGovern in it. If you didn't have Yo, I
Yeah.
would be tempted to have McGovern in my team. He looks unreal, but I feel like um, for 40K more, I'd prefer Whitfield.
Yeah. Well, that's what Ab said in the end. He's like, well, for a
Yeah,
little bit more money, I can get Whitfield, who's just playing the best season of his life.
he is. Well, I've got the kick-ins here, but um, essentially, McGovern's kick-ins are always, stock standard. He had 7 in the first, 5th in the second, and 5th in the third, and they got rid of Witherden, so he's always going to have the kick-ins. But Whitfield's got literally he had 6 for Collingwood. He only had the one, but it looks like only a couple of people like Himmelberg that year or that week had 2. Then Ash had 1, so there was only minimal kick-ins there. But against West Coast, he had 9 kick-ins. So I feel like he's a great option,
I think it's
and
incredible.
he's
Have you looked at his heat
yeah
maps?
yeah he's everywhere, dude. I
Looks like a
love Lockie
midfielder.
Whitfield. I love Lockie Whitfield, and he has burnt me so many times. Oh, maybe not so many. He's scared me off big time once, because of my love for him, and I just feel like he's probably had he's had more of because he is injury prone, but he's had more of a preseason this year, and he's just doing everything right. But I think he had an okay end to last year. I haven't got it in front of me or
His
anything.
final series was pretty electric, apparently. Like
Yeah,
it just went
yeah.
massive. Yeah.
And that's him. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on top dollars at GWS because
Hmm.
he had another elite. He's been around for a while now, and then he was number one pick, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure he's number
Not
one
too
pick.
sure.
But yeah. So I mean, I got Dacos, Sheasel. Yo was a bit frustrating, but I'm actually like really happy with him because everyone's. Well, I saw a few people complaining that his tog is so shit and all that kind of stuff. He had 29 touches with the poor Tog. So I don't know how
Yeah.
you sort of labeling excuses for that scoring. Or, or just saying it's shit pick because he's Tog. The issue was he was booting it so high, it was nearly hitting the roof of Marvel Stadium. It's like he's having fun. He had a shot. He had a shot for goal, and it went more like it cleared, and like the commentator's like, "Jeez, he can kick it big." So I was like, "Oh," but he was just
Through the
trying
little
too hard.
gaps at Marvel, through the little like holes.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate, he was booting it so high. Like the cameraman's probably just doing his neck out, just going, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
Um, but he had about 9 clangers, I'm pretty sure. So that could have easily been 115. I reckon his average is around here, but a little bit more. It's just if he gets injured. But um, you'd be spewing if you traded him last week. I know a few did, but not massively. But
Traded him
other
last
than
week after he scored like 100 and something.
traded in, yeah. Sorry,
Oh, traded
traded in.
in. Oh, yeah,
Yep. I also bring Toby Pink in. It was all to fit in. It was all to fit in Butters, and I came up with a plan. So my trades were Tom Berry out. Who else went out? Oh, Tom Berry. Hayden Young and old mate Martin. And I wanted to keep Wines for 1 week because I thought it was a better matchup. But I didn't want to risk Martin losing so much money, which was a shit move in hindsight. But Toby Pink, I actually
It
thought
wasn't
he
a
just
shit
got,
move. How was that a shit move? Getting rid of Martin.
well, I would have had 40 points more if I had have kept
I
Wines.
know, but
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
you've shifted off Martin, who
yeah,
is still inevitably lost cash, and
yeah. I
you
think he would
got
have.
his break even was like 187.
Nah, he rose 4K. He
He
rose
gained
4K.
money.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it was a shit move.
Yeah,
Okay.
but my move was to get Luke Ryan instead of Butters. I was just scared because I saw the 183 game, but get Luke Ryan, get Jack Carroll, um, and get I can't remember who was the next one that I was getting, but that was sort of a cash gen plan, which would have stuffed every sort of. It looked uneven the team as a
Hmm.
whole,
Your team
and
looked terrible when you did it.
I liked Butters though. Like just VC, and it was just so disappointing. But I mean, I don't think they'll drop Pink at all. I don't think it will be a bad pick. It'd just be about round 15 where he maybe makes 120K and you trade him out because he was on negative 12 or something like ridiculous. I was watching it and I was just through my phone, but I was a little bit happy because of like I won first goal on Cam Zerha. So and then I'm pretty sure Toby Pink after it bloody got a 50 pulled on him, and I'm pretty sure he got a 50 afterwards. So, and then I was watching him, and I'm going, oh, Toby. But I mean, you call that rescued 19, but like that could have been a 50, and we're sort of, that's what you expect from him. And
To Toby
Harry
Pink's
Mackay,
defense as well, he has played. He just played on North.
Mackay,
He just played on Carlton, um,
yeah,
and they have
yeah,
just absolutely gone to town on him. Like literally, just said, "Hey mate, bad luck," and then just went absolutely nuts. And then the week before that, he got absolutely destroyed by Frio. Who's Frio's full forward?
a miss. I don't know if he's playing.
I don't
It
know,
would
but he
be
got
either Tabana.
destroyed the week before as well, and it was like fuck. And he just kept giving away free kicks because he was trying too hard.
Yeah, and I'm fingers crossed. I mean, if he does get dropped, I'll just leave him as a loop. But I don't think he will get dropped. I think, what can you do against a ex Coleman um Coleman medalist,
Yeah,
which
having the
it
start of the
was
season, these best
of
start
his
he's ever
life.
had.
Well
Yeah.
not of his life because he won at Coleman, but it certainly feels like it. And we sort
Well,
of
he's on
vouched
track to win another one.
exactly. So I mean, it's a big step up from Samford, but I mean, I'm not even going to give him my Imagine of the Week. My Imagine of the Week is definitely Ollie Wines. I mean, this wasn't just, he's been so frustrating to own. Like, you think if Jason Horn Francis is out, um, you'd get more mid time. He didn't. And then he was on track for 120 at one stage. So I was like, how good is Ollie Wines? I love him. I love you, man. And he was literally nowhere to be seen. And obviously, because he's got this hamstring concern, they've taken him off. But he was on track for a ton and then got scaled down. I'm actually happy he's injured this week because I didn't want to. I was like, I've heard people say, don't trade him. And I didn't want to be reactionary. But now I can trade him and he can F off out of my team. I could have had Matt Crouch. I could have had Matt Crouch.
He could have.
I did it
I knew,
once and then I've gone, no, no, Michael has him. Michael has him.
man,
I'm an
I
idiot.
fucking told you at the start of the season. I said Ollie Wines would be his fucking trap. Do not go near him. Don't do it. And you laughed at me.
Yeah, I know. But well, I don't know how it works out because he is Tog a lot. He has poor Tog, but I did hear that as well. That was from Abs or something saying he might get forward DPP. Um, I don't think I can hold him. He's got too much of a price on his head, and he's been a
No,
shit pick. But that
stupid.
means it means possibly using a boost, which
Why?
well, I think I could be because I've got 177k in the bank. I could move him off and then get two primos instead of one. But my plan was to sort of leave him and upgrade elsewhere. So now I could upgrade elsewhere and then get two players in, which I can show later. But um, he's stuffed the whole plans. I could have upgraded him maybe just in a straight swap, but Billings didn't help either, being a spud.
Mm.
So
And can I just say this? I Super everyone at the start of the season in SuperCoach is always like planning what rounds they're gonna do what and what moves they're gonna do when. Like you can't fucking plan that shit. Every
yeah,
single week you have a plan going in.
well,
Oh,
this
next week I'm
season,
gonna do this, and then it's thrown out the window because shit goes out like fucked up.
yeah. Um, but I other than that, I think most of the players that I'll just charge my computer really quick. Most of our players were pretty serviceable, I reckon. It's just a bit annoying. No one really popped off, and it's been the story of the my season. Um, the stallion, I think, is just got to be Jack Steele.
He's
He's just
carrying you, isn't he?
he is he really is. Like I'm
Jack
not
Steele
getting
is
any of these
carrying
captains.
your team.
It's an excellent pick, isn't it?
Yes,
Like
incredible pick.
um,
You know what kills me
I
as well? He was in my
yeah.
team the whole preseason. Remember that? He was just there the whole preseason, and I traded him out last minute for Took.
Well, both of them are the same sort of player. I was reading your team, when we were watching it and all that. I think he has 1 point um, less average, doesn't he? Well, I
He
guess the
doesn't have
buy.
the buy. He doesn't
Yeah,
have the buy.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I could get two, I would get them. Get them both rather. But yeah, he's been incredible, and it just looks like he's back to the normal Steel days and
Mm,
sorry, old Steel days. And if he's back old Steel days, that's a vice captain choice. That he's playing
mm.
Richmond.
Mate,
I don't know if I can go there.
I would not
Uh,
be surprised. I know it's going to happen, and I'm waiting for it, and I'm scared. I'm seeing like a 160, a 170 in the distance, and I'm just like he's going to absolutely explode soon. And I'm seeing like um, Zach Merritt ish type, like he's just going to be that player
yeah.
that if you didn't have him, he's going to fucking hurt you, and then people are going to have
Oh
to
yeah, because
spend
you
to get
didn't
him
own
in.
Merit, did you? Did you
No,
not own Merit
I'm having.
next
No,
year?
I didn't. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I'm getting
You bring it up
PTSD.
yourself, mate. I forgot. I forgot. Now
Zach
I've
Merritt
got Steel,
PTSD
your
coming
arch
out of
enemy.
Steel.
Steel, your arch enemy. I'll go into my trades in a minute, but I guess that it's a talking point for the pod as well. I really wanted Dempsey, and then I don't think I would have went there, even though I love Dempsey more because I wanted Carroll. Now I've seen Carroll hit and Sam Walsh potentially back. I think there's a little bit of danger for the pick for Carroll.
That's why I didn't
At
go.
least, yeah, and I a mate asked me, and I hope he's listening. He reckons we're giving out bad advice. So I said, "Who do you?" He said, "Who do you? Should I go to, Carroll or Dempsey?" And I said, "Dempsey. He's got better job security and all this kind of jazz."
Hmm.
He said, "All right, I'm going against your advice, and I'm picking Carroll." I messaged him today at work. Said, "Good job on the Carroll pick, mate. He might get the arse in a couple of weeks." Where Dempsey looks like he is. Is he a must-have rookie? That's my question because I think he's a fantastic player that can. He could get to 400k and it's still a win at 200k. You
Yeah,
get him in.
yeah. I've been thinking about it. Um, I don't know if he's a must-have yet, but he's definitely a very good rookie. He started like deep forward, and
Yeah,
then progress as the game went on. They progressed him up the ground, and
yeah,
then at the end, he was like playing as a winger,
yeah.
and
No, well, that's his.
was
That's why he's so good because he He does everything, man. He's not like he scored an 86 or whatever he scored, and he didn't kick a goal. He did not
Mm,
kick a goal. So he's more of a winger than a forward.
yeah.
He just is Tom
You know,
everything
he's
that we
just
wanted Tom Berry to be.
yeah, and he's doing. You know what? I would be happy for people to trade him in at 200K. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because he's not just a cash cow that you're going to make money from. He's a an on field option as well.
Well, and he's a safe F6. Um, and that was another reason for maybe boosting this week was to get him in,
Hmm.
get Darcy in, and then your rookies are pretty settled.
Hmm.
Because if you have a look at my team, but I feel like everyone's missing one rookie. I mean, the big concern for me is Wilson, just because of his score and his just rolls a bit um, crappy.
Hmm.
But Sexton and Reed, the both of them have got like question marks. I think Reed will come good though. You just leave him in and hopefully he just turns out good scores. But people that didn't start him, it's kind of lucky in a way because you would have started 123k, 123k player. But I think Lazaro and Clark are fine. So it's really those three that are issues, and your defense are always going to be issues. Like everyone has issues down there, but
Mm.
I guess Dempsey is the one to bring in for 200k. But I guess he just could easily just be one that missed, and you copy losses.
Mm. Because if you didn't bring in Harley Reid, you could have just started someone like Buku Karmas. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
sharp. Anyone sharp.
Yeah, and
Harvey Thomas.
they're killing it right now. It's like if you started Windsor, you know.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Lazaro is
Poor
another one.
bloke.
Like I'm not going to trade out Lazaro, but there's plenty of players who are cheaper than him doing better.
Yeah, that's it. I actually don't mind Lazaro, even though like all we need, I guess we need him
I'll
to
just say
churn out a
price
bigger
range.
score. Yeah,
You know, like he got subbed
yeah.
as well, which is you know what I mean.
Well, he didn't
So
get. Well, I remember that. I remember watching on Friday night. Once someone else got subbed, I was because he didn't get subbed last week,
no,
but he
no,
got
the week
subbed the one
before.
before.
Yeah,
But I was doing happy kicks because you're scared. You're like,
mm,
please, please, Clarkson, don't fuck him up, please. Like,
yeah.
we need this player. So, um, it is a temptation. Um, like my
And there's
trades for the
people
week.
trading out Harley Reid this week, which I don't hate. I don't hate the trade out Harley Reid, but I've
I've
got
floated
bigger
it.
fish to
I
fry.
Yeah, I've floated it. I mean, the trade I could do is this one.
Mhm.
This is like a big balls to
Oh,
the
this is
wall.
the one he wanted to do, is it? Let it
Yeah, I
rip,
don't mind it,
son.
but
Let it rip. Show us what
I
you're
don't
gonna
mind it,
do.
but
Yo
I
into the
need to trade
midfield.
somewhere else. Who
That's
did
so
I
good that you
trade?
got that yo swing. That's probably the best part
I
about it.
know. Yeah, because there's limited spots, isn't there?
Yeah,
All right, and
bring
bowls
him
only
in.
once.
Bring in the wit man.
Yeah. I mean, this is not me.
Mate, that's a heap of cash. Look at that.
I know. Well, it helps me with banking 177 last week.
Yeah.
Um,
Great play in hindsight that you got rid of Martin last week, hey?
yeah, I know.
Oh, he's going Lockie Neal. That's a huge call.
And then
Lockie Neal. That's massive.
I'll speak about Neil in a second, but
Do it.
I guess he's one that I can possibly, I don't have to do it.
Yeah. Are you
I just
fielding Lazaro down there instead of
yeah,
Darcy?
so I'll fix up my players in a minute. I'll just get out of all this shit.
Lockie Neal. I like that. I like that call. That's such a pod right now.
Yeah, well, my theory is there is a bit of risk involved, but so does my team's load. He's got an excellent record against North.
Bloke
Like
just won a Brownlow. What do you mean? Their
I
team's
know,
going shit.
I know, but that was a skeptical Brownlow. Purely only because he didn't deserve it whatsoever, Lockie Deal. Like he had a
Didn't.
shit season.
Even he was
But Lockie,
surprised.
I would be too, mate. He played dog shit. the last 12 weeks. You cop a Brownlow from that. Everyone is peppering North at the moment with scores. Look at Adam Chera, our man Adam Chera. We love Chera, but he's been real, like, poor to start the season. And then he got his flow back on. But I'm looking at Lockie Neal. The issue is with Lockie Neal, and I reckon nobody's talking about Lockie Neal whatsoever. And I get it because he's just round two, he didn't play because he's got a hamstring concern. And then they had the bye. So that's a 2 week rest essentially. So that's, he would have recovered by then, obviously, because he, had his rest. But he's averaging like 120. I know it's only 2 games, but he scored 129 against Pies and looked pretty good. Like he was around the footy and, progressing the ball and
We had to
looked like he
tag
was
him.
doing more. Yeah.
We had to stop him because he was so damaging.
Now, he's got North next week. And I'm thinking that there is a chance he goes plus 150. And I'll have him advice. And I feel like he's the player that everyone will get in next week because they missed out on the big score. Where I'll just have Neil. I like his price as well. He's 617k. Like it fits perfectly in my team. I wish I could get Merit or something, but I think it gives me 633k for to bring in a defender or mids, and they're all sort of gone up or down. I don't think you'd get LDU and all that kind of stuff. So he's really the next option. And I think he's the play, but I don't like what it does at the bottom of my team. Does it look patchy?
Oh, it's the only
It looks
question I
like
had to. It,
that's it, and that's all
it
I can do.
Lazaro, I wouldn't, not in a million years, field Cadman. He's
It's those
versing
three.
Gold Coast.
Yeah, I've just hit optimize, but even
Okay.
the issue is, so these three, right? It's usually Sanders, Roberts, McKercher. Those three, they're in that zone,
I
and then you
mean,
can,
just
um,
ending quickly
like,
on it.
yeah,
Do you think it
Yo
is
would go
smarter
up
to
there, but
go
I think
two
it's
primos, or do
all
you think
messed up a bit
it
because
is?
I've got Whitfield
And
within
that
there.
means you
You
can't
have to think
Jordan early,
in
or do you think just
two
going
round
two
time, two
trades
rounds
is probably the
time.
Yeah,
safer move to
You
do and
can
getting Sarong and
you're trading
maybe
out
flipping
Williams and you're
Wilson
trading
or
out Howe,
Billings?
Roberts and
yeah,
McKercher going back there.
yeah, and that's it. Well, the other thing as well, I'm getting rid of Jordan, who has West Coast, but I only think Jordan's got about
Yeah,
20k to make.
I think it's just the
I
question
think
is,
I don't think Jordan's
do
got
I
much
want a
to make from
Lazaro,
now on. All right,
a Reed,
we're back.
and a
Will's power's
Cadman
gone out, but
Sexton
he's going to wrap it up on the
forward line?
phone.
I think that is
We're
a disaster waiting to
do you
happen.
just want to jump into captains?
Oh, thanks, man.
You probably get more points on field trading out, getting in Whitfield
Yeah, well, I
and
think
Lockie Neal. Hey,
I can keep Wilson there and then let trade Billings. So it's really that's not the issue. I think it's more if I just want one person in there. And that's what I mean. Two primos, but
it's pretty tough. Hey,
it means benching one of Sanders,
I
McKercher, and Roberts every week as
I don't
well.
think I'm doing it to my team. If I'm completely honest with
No,
you.
so I guess it is a thought to think
And
about.
I will be honest,
But
I'll tell you what I think, but I'm not gonna. But I do like the Sarong one as well. But the only
yeah,
only
I
thing that's
don't
wrong
think
with
surely
Sarong
Sanders can't.
trade
Surely Sanders is a
is that you
70
still have
floor.
Billings,
I mean, well, not
which isn't a
floor.
bad thing. Like Billings
That's the
could very
highest he's
well
going to
go
go.
well next week. Um,
Yeah, I already thought about benching Yo in that situation. It doesn't sound good. The more I talk about it, But I guess that means I
I
just
like
maybe
that you
have to
have the
skip
ability to go
Whitfield, which is a
Whitfield
bit
in
of a
though.
annoyance
It's
as
such a
well. But I guess captains
yeah,
you
it's
can
such a hard decision.
yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have a
Yeah.
loop, do you?
I,
Mm.
yeah, Real. I'm big on
Yeah, that's a potential
I'm
like
really
100
big on
points
Took
every
more than
week just
Real,
going
I
to be on
think.
your bench.
I think Took's a better sort of scorer. I just think Real has, that killer mentality. Who do you think will finish above?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But there's a potential that you could have 100 on your bench and you
Yep.
don't know which one's going to do it, you know?
Yep. No. And he
Yeah.
has he has a good ceiling. I just guess it because the bigger boys are stepping up now. It's
Mm.
negated a little bit. Maybe he doesn't do it as much as he did a couple of years ago.
But you'd
But
have
this guy was
Sarong in
six
your
fifty
team.
k
Like if you
last
had
year.
Sarong in your team, you would
So,
have killers.
you know,
Like you would
he's
have
obviously a
all
good
the
player.
killers.
Captains.
You would just need Rao.
I mean, Maxi Gorn. I think he plays the first game, but I don't think you would captain him against Riley O'Brien.
Yeah. I think Tuchel will average out better. But I think Rao will
Yeah,
have bigger spike games. I don't think we've
yeah.
seen Tuke ceiling yet. I
I think they're ranked the 10th or something hardest, or no, they might be the seventh
yeah.
hardest team to verse. So I think he is out of it. I think the Brisbane North game. If you had Neil, you would vice
Yeah.
him.
Let it rip.
But the Port Essendon, I guess that is just a Butters VC. Um,
What is
exactly.
previously
The
with
issue
Riley
is
O'Brien?
because he's burnt us last week. I
In
have
my head, for some reason, I
I
think
have
that he's
a
hard for Ruckman to score
really sore
against.
heart because
Luke Jackson went
he just
98
ruined me.
against
So
him.
I feel like you would
Um,
just maybe vice
Geelong can't
Sydney,
really get any
the
good
Sydney
data
player
there.
instead, like Heaney.
Round one, Gold Coast.
I think maybe Heaney just because of West Coast, but we're just doing exactly what we did
Yeah,
last week. Thinking West Coast is going to be an easy beat. But Heaney is in such unreal form, and it's not like he was
hmm
had an injury with Bont that you
that's
there's no
just like a
risk with the
classic
pick. So maybe you
hard
go a
game that
VC into
Butters is
him,
just going to go
and
fucking
maybe
ballistic at Adelaide
you
Oval.
see. I'm just looking at the options now, but you could see a Tom Green or a Jack Steele, or you wouldn't be going. Yeah, right.
Because
Yeah, if you had him. Yep, yep,
Heaney. Who are you hotter on? A Butters
yeah,
Vice?
yeah. I mean, you could easily do VC Butters into Heaney. That probably is the play. Because you got Friday night game. Two. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's a good call as well. So you're probably going to do the same as last week then.
I'm winning the C on Jack Steele
Yep.
if I had him.
Yeah.
Mate, I think Jack Steele's
Yeah.
waiting to explode. I think you could be in for a massive score this week if you put in Sarong.
Right. I
You
think
could be in for
I think Steele maybe is a strong candidate. I think I'd still go near Heaney though. Heaney or Butters, because
I'm
those
more
blokes
inclined to
surely they take the
VC into
piss out.
Bont again, just
One of
because
them
I
will win.
know that
I don't
against
know what
Geelong, they're
you've got it
they're
open, but
3 and
what
0.
is
It's going to be a tough
Butters is?
game.
I don't
The
think he goes
Stars
well
stand up in
against
tough games, and Bont is going to stand up.
Essendon that much, but usually the rate.
Saturday night, gather round, you know.
So That's all
Yeah,
right.
I'm
So that's
planning to
Heaney.
go
That is Heaney.
Butters into Bont
All
or
right. It's
Heaney
interesting.
into Bont. But you've
Yeah.
got fucking
Or
Jack Steele sitting there.
yeah.
I wouldn't hate if you went VC Bont into Steele.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Oh, it could be.
Oh,
Oh, he hasn't actually had. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's Richmond altogether. They are renowned for leaking points.
nah, he's gone
Yeah, it is a good call,
109,
isn't it?
112, and a
It's
120, I think. I'm not looking at it right now, but that's memory. Mm. Most captain this week is Bontempelli at 30%.
nah,
Still
they're
early
usually
days
pretty
though.
live.
29.4, then Tom Green,
Yeah,
then Nick Dacos, Max Gorn, Caleb
yeah,
Sarong,
exactly. Yeah,
Heaney, English Butters. All right. No one on the pod see Jack
yeah,
Steele. 0.4%.
yeah. I wish I had him. I just can't have him for the buy.
It was Heaney this week.
Yeah, yeah. We talked earlier.
But
Just you
yeah,
know,
this
oh, I think maybe it was off the pod
this
that
round,
it's
I
that kind
don't
of
think
year where you
actually
just take a
the
risk on the
data's
captaincy,
actually
and
out for it. So I
you
could be
know
wrong.
we've been
Sorry.
doing the safe things now,
I
and it
could
hasn't
be.
actually worked. So we may as well
Because
just be funky. And
Okay, well, if this is because a lot of people have got Dacos
yeah,
VC still, so it's probably just still sitting on there from last week. But we got Max Gorn VC 10%, Caleb Sarong 5, Butters 5, Petrarca 4. Petrarca 4 is
yeah,
good. Like that's going to be he's going to go massive. Um, yeah, Luke Jackson, then Bont VC.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
mate, if it was me in your situation, knowing what happened last time, I think I'm rolling the
Well, yeah,
dice on
I
Jack
reckon
Steele.
Steele into Heaney into Steele. But if I do get Lockie Neal, um, I'm telling you right now, I'm VCing Lockie Neal. Because he's versus the North. He scored 175 last
Hmm.
time last year, and that was on a. I think they might be playing on
I'd
Adelaide
love to
Oval
get a good
though.
idea of what everyone else
Um,
is doing
I
though.
don't
Like I
have
like
it.
to
They
look
have. They're playing a Norwood.
on
I'm
Twitter
unsure
and
where he
see
played last
what
year,
a lot of the
but
coaches that I
Norwood's a very small
like.
ground, so
I'd
that's a
like to see
midfield
who
ground.
they've picked, and then
Um,
I just cross check and be like, okay, well, I'm doing this, they're doing that. Why the fuck are they doing this? Or like, oh, we're doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, what are you thinking? What's your
right.
actual
So it's a
thoughts on
different
who you're going to
arena.
go for?
Because he's playing at Norwood now, but I have heard a few people say that Norwood is like a great shout because that's why people are captaining Steele because it's like a very high tackle ground
Yeah.
and all this kind of stuff. So I feel like Neil will get bulk of the ball. But we'll see. I'll have a big think about it and see where I go. Otherwise, it'd be probably Heaney into Steele, even though that it is a big balls move. But you just hope that Heaney actually does something. No, I don't think you. I don't think I want to captain Max Gorn. So
So
Heaney's the
Lockie
next
Neal
one.
last year. Where the fuck is Neil? Last year he played
Yeah,
North
sure.
at Adelaide Hills. Yeah.
Well, you can't even get him at 15. You'll be able to do it. Just make the odds like or $4. But if you only put him 5 on it, it's gonna be like $15 winnings, and we're just gonna. You hope so.
No, I don't think I'm going to go on either. Um, should we jump into
Oh
the cherry
god.
on top? Let me just make it real quick. Look, let's just make it really fucking piss easy. So it's just gonna happen. You know what I mean? Even though they're winning nothing, like let's go into 15 or more territory and put down fucking Dacos. No, you can't. We'll just go anytime goal scorers. So let's just go some classics. I think Lockie Schultz is going to kick a goal this week. He has to. There's been a lot of talk about him in the media. It's my fucking cherry on top. We're doing it crazy. We're putting it up to $15. Let us rip. Okay. Okay, we're back. So after some criticism, some inside criticism and some internal thought and reflection, we've decided to make the cherry on top easier this week. So at least someone's going to win. So you're in for a really good shot, but it's not going to be as much money. So this week's cherry on top is Lockie Schultz, anytime goal scorer, Jack Ginnivan, anytime goal scorer, Marbiol Chol, anytime goal scorer, Bobby Hill, anytime goal scorer, John Noble, 15 or more, Massimo D'Ambrosio, 15 or more, and Bobby Hill, 2 goals or more. If you win the highest score in our SuperCoach League, then we'll transfer it's $29.75. We'll transfer it straight to your bank account. Get in there. Good luck, lads.
I know it's a little amount of money than what we've been promising, but hopefully the smaller odds makes a hit. But like we always said, you gotta be subscribing to us on YouTube and Twitter. We're making it Twitter as well.
Yeah, get in there, lads. If this one gets up, then we'll just slowly increase the odds every single time until it just keeps getting up. Maybe we might maybe if the pies aren't cashing in, we might start punting on the dogs.
Yeah.
Just get on the ponies.
We might go to the ponies. Or just back it on the red dog. The red dog always wins.
Yeah, get the red dog. All right.
When in doubt, back the red.
All right, lads. Thanks for listening. That's all for this week. We'll only do one pod this week just because it's a really short one. But yeah, do you have anything to add, Will?
Nah, nothing else. Hope everyone has a good week.
Yeah. Cheers, lads. Good luck.